In the past 3 weeks, I had the chance to test drive the brand new Insta360 ONE RS 1-inch edition for professional 360 video gigs and virtual tour creation in Virginia, Washington DC, and in Los Angeles. This is not gonna be a surface level review of this camera. This is an in-depth, hands-on review from a serious 360 content creator with a professional dedication to the 360 community. If you have a consumer 360 camera and want to get serious in 360 content creation, shoot better reframe videos to cut through the noise on Instagram or other social media, or upgrade your virtual tour business for higher paid jobs, this is the video for you. We will compare the image quality with other 1-inch sensor 360 camera, the Ricoh Theta Z1 and the new Theta X in 360 videos. We will go over every use case for a 360 camera in a prosumer level, including capturing immersive training for schools and enterprise, shooting commercial projects, and even flying the 1-inch edition with the DJI Inspire 2 in daylight and low light situation. I'm not gonna waste your time for things you can read online already. This is a no hype review to help you decide should you get the 1-inch edition or wait for another option. Let's go! Hey, what's up everybody? It's your boy Hugh here. This is just the first in-depth review video of the Insta360 ONE RS 1-inch 360 edition. We will have dedicated tutorials on 360 filmmaking, virtual tour creation, and 360 photography using the 1-inch 360 mod. So if you are new here, please consider subscribing and hit the notification bell so you don't miss tips and tricks that could help you gain millions views on MetaQuest Oculus TV or advanced virtual tour technique
that can help you win big clients.
Co-designed with Leica, the 1-inch 360 edition has two 1-inch CMOS sensors and two f2.2 35mm equivalent fisheye lens that allow you to capture 6K 360 video in 25 frames per second. 5.8K in 30 frames per second, and 21 megapixel 6.5K 360 panorama photos. This is a bigger prosumer camera, and this is not an action 360 camera. If you don't have 360 camera, I will recommend starting with the Insta360 ONE X2 or ONE RS regular 360 mod. The 1-inch setup weighs 239 grams. If you see the size comparison here, you understand this is not the best camera to strap on your snowboarding helmet or even your prosumer drone like the Mavic 3 Pro, and definitely not on your dog like this. So, what is this camera for then? First, 360 video content creators or immersive filmmakers target better quality release on YouTube VR and on Oculus TV. Second, 2D content creators, influencers, and vloggers who want to cut 360 reframe video with their DSLR or mirrorless prosumer camera, or use it for client works like right here. We are capturing our friend Alton from GRX Immersive on his class on mocap, previs, virtual camera tracking in Unreal Engine virtual production. We need to capture the screen behind us and the virtual camera operator at the same time. Traditionally, you will need two cameras pointing in two different directions. With ONE RS 1-inch, you can use the back camera to do a picture-in-picture in the front camera. Very practical when you are a solo camera operator. Number 3, virtual tour creators, which I will go into detail later in this review. Video image quality. We are so lucky to get to film White Dove flying toward the camera with both the ONE RS 1" and the Insta360 Titan at the same time. The Titan is a professional camera that costs almost $15,000 US, although it is shot at 120 frames per second in 5.2K 3D 360. The fact that the image quality of the ONE RS 1" can match the image quality of a high-end professional Titan camera is very impressive. There is no doubt ONE RS 1" is the best looking consumer 360 video camera I ever shot with under the price of $1,000 US. In fact, it's even better than lots of prosumer level camera in the $1,500 range, like Coolcam AK Enterprise, Lab Panel Pilot 1 EE, and the Samsung Round. Insta360 is really good at bringing the professional image quality onto prosumers' hands. So, everyday creators like me and you do not need to compromise our image quality. This camera is a great companion of your DSLR or mirrorless camera when you need that super wide angle like right here of the flying dove, or like right here with all the birds from the Amazon jungle. The small size of the ONE RS 1" means you can get an impossible shooting angle that your DSLR cannot. Look at here, we raised the 1" 360 mod 3 meters high on the bird's nest. It blended in nicely and captured the bird super close up all around. You won't be able to do it in another way easily. By the way, this is Nodo Ninja Travel Pro. Check out my review right here if you're a travel filmmaker. Practical camera test. S1" mod video 6K mode. Now I'm 4 feet away from the stitch line. 1 meter and 4 feet. This 2.5 feet, around 50 meters, 50 cm, 0.5 meter away from the camera. Touching the camera, step back, step back, step back, 4 feet again, step back, step back, step back. That's 8 feet. Go all around. Then to the chart right here, this is 4 feet away, straight onto the camera. Look at the resolution chart. So ONE RS 1" technically shoot in resolution 5888 by 2944. So not fully 6K, even though it is close to 6K in 30 frames per second. You just watch a reframe video stitched in the latest Insta360 Studio PC app in Apple ProRes, uncompressed, rendered to retain the original in-camera image quality. When camera is stationary on the invisible selfie stick, the stitching is very good on 4 feet away from the camera, thanks to the latest optical flow feature, which is only available on the Computer Studio software. At 0.5 meter is when the stitching starts to break down, so we recommend any moving subject should be away from the camera at a minimum of 0.5 meters. Let's make a quick image quality comparison with another recent release, Ricoh Theta X, and the 1" sensor 360 camera Ricoh Theta Z1. Let's take a look. On the left is the 1" 360 mod, and on the right we have the Theta Z1 is only 4K 360. Immediately you see resolution is very important in both 360 reframe video and immersive 360 video. Z1 has a very compressed look. Stitching, I would say Theta Z1 is slightly better thanks to its lens and sensor are being closer together without relying on optical flow stitching. But they both have a minimum stitching distance of 0.5 meters. In general, just don't put your subject in stitch line. On the back of the Fuji focal chart right here, you see ONE RS 1" has a lot better sharpness and clarity. Also, the video dynamic range is much higher as you see the shadow in the back. But I don't like the lens flare characteristic of the Leica when the sun is hitting the rim of the lens. As you see right here, Theta Z1 has a more natural looking lens flare. The good news for Insta360 is the red dot of death is finally gone in Leica mod because of better optics and more expensive glasses. Take a look at this sunset shot by the 1-inch 360 mod facing directly to the setting sun. Not only does it has impressive dynamic range, one of the best in any consumer camera, but also no red dot. We can finally face the lens to the sun instead of hiding it in the stitch line. You do notice some bending artifacts here in the sky. This is due to the H.265 compression. You can avoid it by not shooting in vivid color mode, shooting in log instead, and render in ProRes using the Desktop Studio app. I will teach you in the following tutorial in great detail, so don't forget to subscribe. Well, it's not fair to Z1 as it is a 2-year-old camera now and only shoot at 4K. So how about the newest Theta camera, Theta X in 5.7K 360? If you saw this comparison video of mine, you know Theta X has a better video image quality than Insta360 ONE X2, QooCam 8K, and GoPro Max. So can ONE RS 1H beat the Theta X? Let's find out. Even though Theta X is by far one of the best 360 camera in 2022 in terms of image quality, ONE RS 1H is both sharper and clearer than Theta X. Take a look at the focus chart 10 feet away from me. Punching 300% on ONE RS has significant more detail than Theta X, even though their resolution is very similar, around 5.7K to 5.8K. So the result is pretty obvious at this point. ONE RS 1-inch 360 edition's image quality match its advertisement. Blows any other portable 360 camera out of the water. ONE RS 1-inch is not perfect in every way though. Since the two lenses are wider than ONE X2 and Theta Z1, stitching could be a challenge when the camera is moving. Moving camera shot cannot use optical flow stitching. As you see right here, I am driving a golf cart with the ONE RS filming me. You see moving stitching artifacts in the stitch line area. One way to improve stitching is to use dynamic stitching instead of optical flow in your Desktop Studio software, like right here. If you are into action sports though and need to move your ONE RS a lot, then ONE X2 is a better option for you. Virtual Tour. Another reason for professional to drop $799 USD to upgrade to 1-inch 360 is for professional virtual tour creation. I am a strong advocate of using DSLR or mirrorless camera like the Canon R5 or Sony Alpha 1 for 360 photo virtual tour using Nodo Ninja Mega robotic arm. But not every client can afford this high-end workflow, and 360 video virtual tour inside VR headset like the Meta Quest 2 right here is getting more and more popular thanks to web XR platform like 3D Vista or Warp VR. So having a one body point and shoot 360 camera like the ONE RS makes a lot of sense. So the question is, how good is ONE RS 1 in 360 compared to the king of virtual tour, Ricoh Theta Z1 in Dualfisheye plug-in mode? Let's find out. On resolution, ONE RS 1-inch 360 photo is 6528 by 3264, 6.5K. Theta Z1 is 6720 by 3360, 6.7K. So Theta Z1 is slightly higher resolution than the ONE RS. First, let's look at an outdoor travel shot under the sun. This is a PureShot DNG result without any post-grading. Me and Kimchi is looking pretty good now. Now compare it to Theta Z1 regular 360 photo. ONE RS 1-inch 360 mod has a better color science and a lot better dynamic range. See my face right here. But if you punch in 400% on the chart, we see a chromatic aberration issue on the ONE RS 1-inch on high contrast area. To be fair, the same issue happened when Theta Z1 was first introduced, and they fixed it during the firmware upgrade. So I hope Insta360 can fix this issue soon. If someone from Insta360 is watching this video, please take note and fix chromatic aberration for our viewers. Turn to the back facing the sun, you can clearly see the advantage of ONE RS. In general, for outdoor travel 360 photography, there is no way to avoid the sun. Having better highlights versus shadow ratio, aka dynamic range, is important. Even though ONE RS 1-inch 360 edition has a slightly lower resolution than Theta Z1, the details are better than Theta Z1. Look at the Fuji chart, focal chart right here. I suspect Leica make a better lens so it is sharper. Now, let's take a look at an actual virtual tour situation, shooting indoor of a fancy house. Both PureShot from Insta360 ONE RS and Theta Z1 look bad in this shooting situation. The outside window is completely blown out. So, the correct professional workflow is to shoot in HDR. Insta360 ONE RS 1-inch 360 mod introduced new photo setting called PureShot HDR. It merged 3 bracketed 4 EV apart PureShot raw photo into one single DNG file. Let's take a look. The result is a lot better. Compared to Theta Z1 HDR mode, it is very similar. ONE RS result has a more natural contrast, and Theta Z1 HDR has a whitewash that I don't like. So, if you do not do any post-photo editing for your virtual tour photo, then the ONE RS 1-inch 360 edition is a better virtual tour camera than Theta Z1 out of the box. But no real virtual tour professional use direct camera output without using Photoshop or Affinity Photo to edit their final result. If you follow my channel on professional Theta Z1 workflow right here in this video, you know you should use Dualfisheye plugins, not the Theta Z1 default HDR. And here is the final result after an hour of editing using Dualfisheye RAW plugin and Photoshop shot on the Theta Z1. The result is a lot better than ONE RS 1-inch PureShot HDR. If you put in the editing hard work, you can get a way better professional result. But I am wondering, can I get the same high-end result with the DNG file from the Insta360? So I spent another hour working on the photo. The end result is pretty good as you see right here. Better than the Insta360 Studio app, but not quite as good as Dualfisheye RAW. The reason why is Dualfisheye RAW is using 9 bracketed photo and ONE RS is using only 3. So in the future update, if ONE RS support 9 PureShot HDR merge, then the result might be better than Theta Z1. But for now, Dualfisheye RAW with Theta Z1 is still produce the best result with several hours of post editing. If you want to learn how, check out this video with Affinity Photo right here and this one with Photoshop. Now let's talk about low light 360 photography. Insta360 ONE RS 1-inch allow up to 120-second shutter speed exposure time, which is great for long exposure capture while keeping the ISO at 100 to minimize noise. But what if you need to capture all the action at night that need to keep shutter speed around 1/60 to reduce motion blur and use a higher ISO? Let's check out some of our nighttime shot at the iconic Santa Monica Pier under Pacific Park. This is shot at ISO 400 at 1/60 shutter speed, pure shot. The Ferris wheel is turning, but we still get a very sharp image with minimal noise. Our skin is well lit and well colored. Honestly, it's one of the best shots I ever get in low light straight out of the camera. Let's compare it to Theta Z1 in the exact same setting. As you see here in the shadow, Z1 is noisier than ONE RS and ONE RS has better highlight roll-off. In future episodes, we will go more in depth on using ONE RS 1-inch as a 360 photo camera in different shooting scenarios. Don't forget to subscribe and give this video a like. Impressive time-lapse mode. Thanks to flow state stabilization, big sensor photo mode, and advanced processing core from the ONE RS, time-lapse video mode from the ONE Insta360 is by far my favorite shooting mode. It allows me to shoot time-lapse and render out as a 6144 by 3072 25 frames per second 360 videos in stunning image quality. Check out this sunset shot in the sunflower field with set manual exposure in ISO 100, 1/500 shutter speed. I let the sky from blown out to all the way completely dark to capture the intricate sky and cloud pattern. It looks really good inside Meta Quest 2. Check out my cinematic 360 video shot completely on ONE RS 1-inch here on Oculus TV. Stabilization. The biggest reason that set Insta360 camera apart from any other brand is its impressive flow state stabilization. On the launch, ONE RS 1-inch already come with the impressive flow state. You can use it just as how you use it on the ONE X2. Horizon lock will allow you further smooth out the motion. We are going to push one step forward and attach the ONE RS 1-inch to a professional drone, the DJI Inspire 2. Here is the final result. The result is jaw-droppingly amazing. I'm so used to high compression video from the Insta360 ONE X2 result on my 360 drone shot, and it is so nice to see image quality increase inside a VR headset. The stabilization is truly impressive in this workhorse. If you are not a fan of the new Insta360 Sphere in terms of poor image quality, my review by the way is right here. This ONE RS 1-inch and DJI Inspire 2 setup will make you very happy. The horizon lock from flow state lock on flawlessly. And my blue mount on the Inspire 2 plus the flow state stabilization kill all machine vibration, result in zero rolling shutter artifacts and super smooth 360 video. Don't take my word for it. Watch my cinematic release of Insta360 ONE RS 1-inch on Oculus TV right now with your Meta Quest 2 right here. If you are interested in checking out our drone build, I will post some link down in the description down below. Better though, hire our FAA certified pilot to fly for you. We have Insta360 Sphere, FPV in 360, and of course the Inspire 2 with ONE RS 1-inch and Alter X with Insta360 Titan. Want the best 360 team to work on your story? Contact us today. Low light. How good is low light in 360? Well, see it yourself now. Besides Insta360 Titan, this is the first 360 camera to produce decent quality in low light. Let's compare it to Theta X. Besides better stabilization thanks to flow state, you see both highlight roll-off and shadow detail are a lot better in ONE RS 1-inch. Theta X still has that security camera look, especially in shadow with the jittery noise. But there are still shooting techniques to follow to make the video footage look good. You cannot use auto exposure and you cannot set your shutter speed slower than 1/60 on a tripod and 1/120 when moving. Right here, I'm driving a golf cart right after sunset. Even though the flow state stabilization still works flawlessly, really well and keep the video stable, we see motion blur in every shape. So remember this tip, shutter speed no slower than 1/120 in low light, and increase ISO to bring back light. It's okay to have a higher than normal ISO on the ONE RS 1-inch because of our bigger sensors. Now let's talk about the camera itself. It is a very solid build. It comes with a vertical battery and a case to attach everything together like so. The battery is exactly the same as the vertical battery in the O1R. It is 1350 mAh. We test the camera in a real-world situation, shooting in 5.8K in 30 frames per second. It lasts precisely 62 minutes for a brand new battery. It is pretty good, but not as good as the new ONE RS Horizon battery. I would suggest at least get 2 vertical batteries. Okay, now let's talk about some outstanding issues and shortcomings I found in the camera. The rest of the internet might be glorifying this camera, right? But your boy is not gonna do that. I work for you, so please consider give me a big thank you donation. Overheating. So when you are shooting at 6K 30 frames per second under the sun, the camera will have a chance to overheat and stop recording. I use the ONE RS 1" as our main camera for shooting Honeybee at Virginia. As you see right here, the temperature reached 100 degrees outdoor. So the camera stopped recording after 10 minutes of film time and need to cool down. To be fair, my ONE X2, which is the B cam, was also overheated. So just prepare for that if you plan to use it in a hot summertime. When in the 1" mode, the ONE RS is not waterproof anymore. Considering both the ONE X2 and ONE RS regular 360 mode is waterproof up to 5 meters underwater, this is now only IPX3 water resistant. So don't get this camera anywhere near the ocean. Okay, let's try to put the camera into the beehive to make sure you capture the bee in action. Put it in right there. Yes, put the queen in. The result is really cool, but the bee is kinda out focus. There is a minimum focal distance of the 360 Leica mode, just like the regular 1" Leica mode in the old ONE R. So it is not designed for macro VR 360 capture like right here. The minimum focal distance is 40 cm, which is pretty far compared to Insta360 ONE X2. We end up using the ONE X2 instead for this shot. I wish I know all that before using the camera for a real job, so don't make the same mistake. This is a PROSUMER camera, so expect PROSUMER workflow. This means you will need a more powerful computer. You can still use your phone, but you wouldn't get the same image quality compared to desktop workflow. Luckily, I have a library of tutorials already to teach you how to edit 360 videos or reframe 360 video in both Adobe Premiere and DaVinci Resolve. So while you are waiting for your ONE RS 1" to arrive in the mail, check out those tutorials right now to refresh your memory on 360 Editing 101. Final verdict. Thank you so much for watching this very long and very in-depth review of the Insta360 ONE RS 1" edition. In my humble opinion, this is the best 360 camera under $1,000 US. Yes, it is more expensive. Here is the price, by the way. It is well worth the investment, especially if you are a serious content creator on Instagram or on YouTube, where image quality is so important to cut through the noise these days. By the way, this ONE Insta360 edition will also work on the ONE RO core, but I don't recommend it if you want to get the exact same image quality as showcasing in this video. For virtual tour businesses, this is a no-brainer purchase. You see how much better in the photo and 360 quality of this little camera. Is it perfect? No! I wish they can do 5.2K in 60 frames per second, and I wish it has aperture control like the Theta Z1. No camera is perfect for everything and for everyone. And that's why I give Insta360 a round of applause for listening to professional requests and finally give us the 1" sensor 360 camera. Now, just give us the 1" VR 180 camera as well, then I'll be really happy. Will you agree? Comment below if you do. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. I will have a series of tutorials on teaching you how to shoot, edit, and release high-quality 360 video using the new Insta360 ONE RS 1-inch edition in both Premiere and DaVinci Resolve. Maybe even Final Cut Pro if lots of people ask for it in the comment section down below. Until next time, stay fresh and stay creative, my friends. Ciao!